Hi guys, welcome back. Last class we talked about what science is. Today we are going to be talking about safety. Yes, safety. It is very important that we keep safe and we follow safety precautions in everything that we do. In school, in science, we're going to be using the lab. And that is one of the places that we do most of our experiments and for science classes. So today we are going to be talking about safety in the lab, in the home, in the school, and in the environment at large. So what are some safety precautions that we need to follow while we are in the lab? The lab is a very dangerous place with a lot of chemicals and a lot of other materials, equipment that can harm us. And if we do not follow safety protocols, then we can get hurt. We may even die as a result of not following safety rules. So we are going to learn the do's and the don'ts for science lab. One of the most important rules that we have to follow when we're in the lab, you cannot enter the lab without an adult supervising you. You might be asking, why can't I enter the lab without an adult supervising me? As I said before, there are lots of chemicals in there and there are other equipment in there that can cause harm or great danger. Without supervision, you might want to touch something. You might want to taste something, which is not allowed. That is why you always need supervision when you're in the lab. Another important precaution that we have to take is always wear safety goggles. We're going to be dealing with a lot of chemicals. We're going to be mixing things. We're going to be looking at things. So imagine we're conducting an experiment and bright flames come up or something spills. You're looking at something, somebody turn over something, it spills, splashes up in your face. You're not wearing any goggles. Do you know how dangerous that can be? You can lose your eyes for that matter. So always wear safety goggles when you're in the lab and especially when conducting experiments. Another one. Always follow the teacher's instruction. One very important rule, always follow instructions. Do you know what happens to students or people who do not follow instructions? Something bad always happens in most cases. So that is one of the reasons why we always have to follow instructions when you're in the lab. If you're told not to taste something, do not taste it. If you're told not to look at something, don't look at it. If you're told not to touch something, do not touch it. There must be a reason why you're told not to do so. Another important rule, keep all bags and books out of the walkway. All right? So when you go to the lab, you have your bags, you have your books. You can't just throw them anywhere on the floor. You have to keep it either in a designated area, leave it outside, or you cannot leave it in the walkway. You might be walking with something, you trip, you fall, you get hurt. So that is why all bags, all books must be kept out of the walkway. Another rule, we have electrical sockets in the lab because we are going to be using electricity. So never, ever put your hands, your fingers, push your pencils, or any other object into any of those sockets. I'm sure you know about electricity and what can happen because, as I said, the lab is a dangerous place. It is an exciting place, can be fun while we're doing experiments, but it can also be deadly. You push your finger in there, you push a pencil in one of those sockets, you can get electrocuted. And we don't want that happening to anyone. So always follow the rules when you go into the lab, all right? So there are other rules that we can follow, but these are just a few of them because there are a lot of things that we need to do and a lot of things that you're not supposed to do. So always follow the rules when you're in the lab. Another safety, apart from the lab, we're going to be talking about safety in the home. You spend a lot of time at home. Lots of things are there. You have a lot of electrical appliances, a lot of medications, a lot of medicines. Lots of things are in the home. So in the home too, we need to practice safety. All right? So I know some of you go about your homes as if it's a running place. You run about. You do all sorts of things, but you need to also practice safety when you're in the home too. All right, so let's list some of the things that you should do or you should not do when you're at home. So one of the important things, do not All right, you're at home. You need a cup of tea. You need to fry an egg. Mommy's not there. Do you just go and light the stove yourself? No. You're not supposed to do that. One of the causes of most fires in our homes is because of unsupervision. Children feel hungry, they want something to eat. They say, okay, I see mommy do this all the time. Turn on the gas, flick the match, light the stove. That is a no-no for you. Do not turn on the stove or light the stove, any at all. Or I know some of your parents may want to teach you how to do that. But if you're alone, do not try any of those things. Another thing, electrical appliances. As I said before, those are no-nos for you. All right? You might want a drink and you say, oh, I want to go and blend something. Electricity as well. As with safety in the lab and putting anything in the sockets, same thing with the appliances at home. You could get hurt too. So those are things that you need to look at when you're in the home. None of the things that you're not allowed to do in the lab, please don't do it at home without supervision. Okay? So there are a lot more rules that we have, but I'm just listing a few of them that we need to follow. So we're also going to be talking about safety with food. This is an important thing. Everything that we eat goes into our body. Our bodies, very delicate. We have organs, we have systems in there that are very, very delicate. So there are lots of things that can happen when dealing with food. So some of the safety precautions when dealing with food, one thing, always wash your hands. So always wash your hands before dealing with food. Our hands, our environment, there are germs everywhere. Every surface you touch, there are germs. Tiny things that you might not even be able to see, but they're there. And once they get into your body, can cause great harm. So one of the most important things that you need to do, always wash your hands before you eat anything at all. So if there are germs on it, washing your hands with soap and water will get rid of most of the germs that can cause harm to your body. All right? Always wash fruits and vegetables before eating. Lots of these places are these supermarkets, we buy from the vendors. We don't know where these things are coming from. So a lot of time they pass through different hands or different persons before you get it. So you need to ensure that all foods are washed before eating them. All vegetables are washed before eating them. I know some of you, yes, you're at home, you go in the fridge, you see grapes, or on the table there are apples there. You just go pick it up, take a bite. But the proper thing, or the important thing to do, is to always wash it before eating it. As I said before, germs are everywhere. Dust everywhere. So you need to ensure that all fruits, vegetables, and everything that we eat, they're washed before consuming. So there are others too that we need to follow. But guys, look at it this way. Everything that we do, we need to try and be safe. Safety is important. All of us want to live a longer life. We want to live forever. Not everybody is going to live forever, but being safe is one of the most important things. I'm not saying that being safe will allow you to live longer than not being safe, but it ensures a healthier life for you. So always follow safety, whether you're at home, whether you're at school, whether you're on the road, anywhere you go. Practice safety measures because it's all in your interest. You want to live happy, you want to live healthy, so practice these safety rules, and I assure you, that you live a happy, longer, and healthier life. See you next class.